Gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday, July 4th. Happy 4th of July to everyone out there. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their holiday, at least a three-day weekend from work and all of that good stuff. We are live once again from TPC Deer Run and the John Deere Classic. We are out at the Stonehouse with it, which is the John Deere Classic headquarters. And as I've mentioned throughout the week, I'm grateful to Tournament Director Andrew Lehman for allowing me to take over his office, basically, for the week and do the show from out here. One more great show to get to before we get into the weekend and check out some great action for the John Deere Classic coming up in just a little bit. But if you're watching, first and foremost, if you're watching on YouTube live, we appreciate that. We thank you for that. If you subscribed, well done. Thank you for that. If you have not, shame on you. Get yourself subscribed as soon as possible. We are live on X as well. X is always very, very good to us. And of course, if you can't check out the podcast, which a lot of people this week, or the show, I should say, a lot of people this week have been watching on the podcast form. Busy holiday plans. We get all that. If you're heading out to the fireworks tonight, check out the show on podcast form on anywhere you get your podcasts. Apple, Podbean, Spotify, you name it, you can find Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A lot to get to on today's show. Round 2 is underway at the John Deere Classic. We'll get to an updated leaderboard in just a second, but a jam-packed show today. Coming up in just a matter of moments, our good friend Celia Palermo will join us. Celia, of course, used to work with me at WQAD. She has gone on to much bigger and much better things. She's a host and senior producer at the PGA Tour. She's back this week working for the John Deere Classic, doing some great social media content all around the course. So Celia is someone that I truly mean this, knows more about golf than almost anybody I know. I think anybody I know. She's awesome, great knowledge. We're going to have her look back at round 1 of the John Deere Classic and a whole bunch more with her in just a little bit. So Celia Palermo coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, the talk of the ProAm was a young man from Wheatland, Carter Henning. Carter, 15 years old, about 4 months ago, had his leg amputated. Really good golfer. Andrew Lehman reached out and got him a spot in the Pro-Am. So he golfed on Wednesday with Dylan Frittelli and then Zach Johnson. And he was super impressive. Really good golfer. We're going to have Carter on the show here later in hour number 1 as well. Also coming up later in the show, probably in hour number 2, our good friend Decker Ploehn joins us. If you are a Quad Citian or a Quad Citizen, whichever way you want to say it, you know who Decker Ploehn is. And he's a fixture out here at the John Deere Classic. He's been a tournament chair before. He's been working on the board for a long time. He is a fixture at the John Deere Classic. A lot of great stories. So we'll have Decker Ploehn on coming up in hour number 2. Also, we will catch up with Craig DeVrieze probably around the 11 o'clock hour as well. He'll give us an update on everything that's going on the course itself. He'll also let us know what's going on in the media center, and more importantly, what lunch may be for yours truly. So Greg DeVrieze coming up, and we're going to end the show, I hope, with my good friend Mitch Van Zuiden. He's going to bring me out a pork chop from Pork Chop Hill. We're going to have a little lunch and talk about the foods and things you can get out here at the John Deere Classic. If you're out here at the John Deere Classic this morning, beautiful morning for golf. If you're coming out this afternoon, please do so. Some great golfers going off today, including the leader from yesterday. Max Homa also goes off this afternoon. Ricky Fowler. Some really big names going off this afternoon as well. So we'll take a look at those things coming up in just a little bit as well. But we will start with yesterday. And our round one leader was Doug Gim. Gim is a Chicago native, 29 years old, fired a 62 yesterday, 9 birdies, no bogeys. He goes off at 12:16 later on this afternoon. And after the round, someone who's never won on tour knows that it's going to be a marathon to get it done, but was really happy with round one here at the John Deere Classic.
Yeah, I mean, I hit it close. I hit a lot of fairways. I didn't miss many greens. I had to chip it off a green on 17, so it probably hurt the stats. I didn't get it up and down because I had to come over the corner of the bunker. So obviously, statistically, it'll look worse than probably it was. But honestly, hit it so close all day, I probably didn't gain much anytime I tapped in for birdie. Honestly, I two-putted for birdie a couple of times, and that's just the way the stats go sometimes. But I hit it really well, hold out a wedge, yeah, I mean, honestly, anytime you can shoot 9 under and not really make a putt is always a good sign.
So it was a good day for Doug Gim. He goes off for round number 2 at 12:16, I believe on the 9th tee. So if you're coming out this afternoon and want to check out yesterday's winner, or yesterday's leader, I should say, Doug Gim is the guy to go check out. The biggest story yesterday was the biggest names here at the John Deere Classic. Ricky Fowler and Max Homa playing together. Ricky got off to a slow start, picked things up late, had an eagle out here on 2 right outside the Stonehouse. He fired his 6 under, so he's feeling good and looking good as he goes into Friday. And Max Homa as well, someone who's struggled mightily on tour, but he's won 6 times. One of the biggest names here. He played fantastic. 9 birdies, 1 bogey, a round 163. He's at 8 under, and we caught up. The media caught up with him after the round, and it's something that he tweaked, and he hopes it can continue throughout the weekend right here at the John Deere Classic.
Yeah, I just did everything really solid. I made a ton of putts, kept the driver in good spots. I got to take advantage of my iron play, my wedge play. So it just, it always for me, this season started from the tee, and it was plenty good enough today. And the rest of my game, I think, got to show how it's felt the last few months without any good results. So it just always feels good to get off to a good start when you're struggling, that's for sure.
Does it feel sustainable? Do you feel like you don't want to say you've got it?
Does it feel? I mean, I don't see why not, but I'm not, I guess, worried about it being, it's not really going to be my lasting thought as I leave here today. I played a good round of golf. Every day is different, but I do feel like we found a little something with the driver and all the long clubs, and it was nice to do that for 18 full holes. I didn't hit one crazy shot today, so that was cool.
Was there one thing you worked on the range this week that you felt might have been key today?
Yeah, just my sequencing's been off, so found a little something to hopefully slow down my legs. But yeah, it's always it's just been off all season, so hopefully this little change is gonna kind of continue to work. But didn't find it till late yesterday afternoon, so I'm in the early days of it. So I think I'm in the honeymoon phase for a little while.
So hopefully the honeymoon phase lasts the entire weekend here at the John Deere Classic. Max Homa would be an outstanding winner, of course, here at the John Deere Classic. We'll take a look at the leaderboard real fast before we get to Celia Palermo. And It's a good leaderboard right now. Some early risers in the leaderboard as well when it comes to the John Deere Classes. Camilo Villegas right now is at 9 under. He's at 4 under for round 2, and you're going to have an advantage in the morning. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it again this morning. Chris Ventura also 9 under. Doug Gim 9 under, has not started yet. Austin Eckroat is at 8 under. Max Homa at 8 under as well. They all go off this afternoon. Several golfers at 7 under as well. One person that, of course, a lot of Quad Cityans and a lot of local interest is Zach Johnson. He fired a round 169 yesterday. Now he is at 5 under. So he's 3 under for the day. Again, an advantage here in the morning at the John Deere Classic. And joining me now, finally, after dominating the course all week, the talk of the John Deere Classic, Celia Palermo is back in town.
Glad to be here. Wouldn't be a complete trip without hanging out with you.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
First and foremost, what's it like being back in the Quad Cities? And is it weird not having me tell you what to do? It's been a few years since It's been a few years.
It's been like 4 years.
How weird is that?
Yeah. 2021. Okay, how many years would that be? Yeah, that'd be 4 years. 2021 was my last John Deere Classic.
Okay, so
with you,
your first John Deere Classic was
2019. Dylan Frittelli.
And you look at that one. What one have you missed since? Just one?
2022. Yeah, did I miss 2022?
Yeah.
I missed 2022, and then I came back. I've come back the last 3 years.
Okay, so think about that. And sometimes you right now you're working for the John Deere Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Just for this week, but
yes.
You're with the PGA Tour, killing it, bigger than anything that I've ever been or anything like that. You know, when they talk about student surpassing teacher, that happened a long time ago. And I don't even know if it's ever teacher. I taught you some bad things along the way.
Some new curse words.
No, not me. But what brings you? I mean, whether it's with the PGA Tour or coming back for WQAD or now with the John Deere Classic, you need to come. You love this place, don't you?
I do. I mean, it's not lost on me that without this tournament, I would not have gotten my job at the PGA Tour. I've told this story many times, probably on this podcast as well, on the show as well. And I met a media official with the PGA Tour here back in 2021. Her name's Amanda Harrington. And like me, she also went to the University of Georgia. So we just kind of bonded quickly. And when it came time, when I started looking, my contract at WQA was coming up in a couple weeks, honestly. And I started looking, just seeing what was out there. And there was a job at the PGA Tour. And I reached out to Amanda, and she helped get me in touch with the right people. And so without this tournament, without people I would have met here, I would not have gotten that job. And I mean, you were a reference. I've leaned on Andrew to be a reference as well. Obviously, Corey was a reference too. You know, people here. I mean, you and Corey gave me opportunities to do stuff that without that, I would not have been ready for an opportunity at the PGA Tour. And I know you're laughing, but it's true.
No, but yes and no. You're right. And I know what you're saying, and bless you. But like, you took the opportunities. Like we weren't like these geniuses who are like, wait, we may have uncovered this like, and then I've told the story, I think earlier this week on the show when talking about you, cause you wouldn't come on. So we just talked about you. No, I'm kidding. But, your first day, you were going to front your story from the set. And so you're on the set with us. And I walked back up in the trailer, and I look, Andy McKay, man, a few words, was like, I'm like, she killed it. And he goes, she needs to be on the set the rest of the week. And I said, absolutely. Like, you could tell, no one know, and I'm going to stop being nice to you here in a second, but there's nobody that knows more about golf than you. It's your true passion. I always say, like, Greg Armstrong loves high school football. He covered everything and he was awesome, but he loved high school football. And that was like, you love golf. And I think that's probably what attracted this job in WQAD to you, was because you knew we had the John Deere Classic to cover and do. But I just love the fact that you love coming back here. You go all over the place. You're at different events and all those kind of things, and they're all great. I'm not telling you to bash it, but is there something about this event to you and maybe to other people that are special?
Yeah, I mean, every time I come here, the vibe is just different. People are a lot more relaxed. People are so kind. You know, yesterday I was out on the golf course interviewing fans for just a little social media piece, and I think about, like, not a single person said no.
That's crazy.
And I think that is something that's unique to this community and to the Midwest in general. I can't speak for every tournament because I haven't been to every tournament, but I think there's just something different about this being a smaller area, but it's a big time event. People appreciate what this event is. And people just have a lot of fun out here and don't take themselves too seriously. And I think that is what makes it different, not only for people like me, but also I think the players can feel that too, you know? It's a more relaxed week, and I think they enjoy that because, I mean, as you know, they bring their families here. Yes, the Big Dig is part of that, but the John Deere Classic in general is a great event for families on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And so they bring their family this week specifically for a reason.
And I think they see that. They see the community family vibe. I mean, you look at volunteers, you see a lot of it where mom, dad, and the kids are all working at the John Deere Classic doing something. It's a family-oriented event, and that just makes them feel like it's not just golf, it's family as well. I've done a lot of stories at the John Deere Classic, and sometimes when people ask me my favorite story, it's not the ones you think of, if that makes sense. It's not like, yes, Spieth was awesome, Stricker's three-peat, but I love the Jason Day running the course story. I talk about it too much probably. What stories have you done at the John Deere Classic that you look back at and go, oh, I like this one? And it doesn't have to be for WQED. It could have been the stuff you've done this year, last year. Are there or certain moments, not even stories, but moments that you've loved more than others?
I think about the very first story that I did for WQAD, and you and Corey said, hey, Michael Kim's the defending champion. Why don't you go find him on the range and interview him?
Yes.
And for me, a newbie in the area, a young
sports
reporter, I was like
one.
23, and I'm like, oh, you want me to go find the defending champion on the range, just flag him down and ask him for
Sink
an
or
interview?
swim.
And yes, that, but also it was like, Michael Kim was so humble that he was like, you want to interview me? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, you're the defending champion.
Right?
Granted, he had been going through some struggles in his game at that point, so I think he viewed himself a little bit differently than I'm the defending champion coming back to the place that I won a year ago. So I think things were a little bit different, but just he was very approachable. He was willing to answer my questions, and I was probably shaking holding the mic because I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. I was interviewing the defending champion.
And you know what? He's playing a lot better golf, not just here this week, but in general.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He's had a
He's an awesome follow on social media.
He is.
But and I know you're a fan. You put him on the John Deere Classic.
JDC Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Now, if he wins again this week, then we can start. Now he no longer has the course record or the event because of Davis Thompson last year, but he's playing really, really good. Let's talk some golf from this year. What stood out in round one for you when you look at? I like the leaderboard. I mean, sometimes and people got to be patient. Sometimes you can get a Thursday leaderboard and you're like, ooh. Like there's a bunch of people I don't know. There's some really good names sprinkled in with some really good stories. I guess headline from the round one leaderboard.
Headline overall from yesterday is you probably feel very lucky if you played in the morning. The score differential between morning wave and afternoon wave, I have to imagine, was pretty large. For the most part, the leaderboard, the top 30 was probably locked up by 2 p.m., right? We didn't see a ton of low scores come in from the afternoon. So that to me stood out because obviously things heated up in the afternoon. It got hotter out there, firmer, faster, more difficult to make those putts that you have to make out here. What stood out to me is that Doug Gim, the leader, was first in strokes gained approach, but 99th in strokes gained putting. So he was getting the ball close, but not making a ton of putts, but still made enough to.
Well, and he had mentioned after the round, he said he never had so many tap-in birdies, which is like
exactly. So
which
he's
takes
hitting
away
it,
from that stat.
Right. So he's hitting it close, having short putts. So you think about at this golf course, making a lot of long birdie putts. I mean, we saw Davis Thompson do a lot of that last year, especially in the final round. But Doug Gim, his approach game is what set him up to shoot what he did yesterday.
He mentioned something about I didn't have a signature putt and I still went 9 under. You have that birdie that you didn't expect, that
15-footer.
Yes, or more. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone's talking about Max Homa here at the house, here on the course. Obviously, it would be a fantastic story for the John Deere Classic. He talked about finding something on the range when it came to his drive, his longer clubs. And I loved his soundbite because he's like, we're still in the honeymoon phase of it. So I don't know if it's like, something long-term or if it was something that just worked for a little bit. Is what he did sustainable for the rest of the weekend?
I certainly hope so. He would be an incredible champion to win this event. And I think you'd see an emotional reaction should he be the winner on Sunday. That was his best first-round score since the 2023 Genesis Invitational.
Wow.
That's more than a year and a half ago. People think the last year has been difficult for Max Homa. It's really been the better part of a year and a half. It's just he has struggled. And this is the thing with Max Homa. When he is playing well, he's playing well. But when he's playing poorly, it's not great. I mean, he's been through this many times in his career. He's lost his PGA Tour card and had to go back to the Korn Ferry Tour multiple times to get it back. This is not a new thing for Max Homa, and I think that's why it's so frustrating for him, because it's like, geez, I thought I got through this.
Yeah,
you know
when
what
he's
I
good,
mean?
he's good.
Right.
And then when he struggles, he can struggle.
This guy won the Genesis Invitational. He's been on, multiple team events. I mean,
Six-time winner on tour.
Six-time winner on tour, but he's won big-time events is what I mean by saying that. Like, he won Tiger's event, right? And so this guy has the game to be at the very top, but the lows are low. I don't know if it's sustainable. I think it is, because here's the thing. Expectations are a funny thing. I've talked to a lot of players who they'll say things like, this course really doesn't suit my eye. I'm not talking about just this week. In general, they'll get to a course, it doesn't really suit my eye. I don't really think I'm going to play well here. And so you have no expectation of playing well. Yeah. So when you go out and you're hitting the great shots, it feels maybe a little bit better than if you show up to a golf course that you've always played well at, right? And you have the expectation that you have to play well. I think the difference for Max Homa is he said at the beginning of the week, I don't really know. I don't really generally play well in tournaments where you have to make a ton of birdies if you're going to win. What does he do? He goes out there and has a great opening round. And so maybe the power of defying his own expectations for how he should perform in an event like this, or maybe it doesn't really set up for him, might be powerful.
What else on the leaderboard? And the thing that I'm intrigued with is there's some names kind of right back 2-3 shots back that really intrigue me. I think Denny McCarthy is going to do well. He's going to win this thing one of these years. And it's been the theme on this show this week, because I think Claire mentioned him. I know Andrew did.
It could be this week. I mean, the guys who played really well yesterday, teed off in the morning. Yeah. Now they've got to play in the hot afternoon heat here today. That could change things drastically. I think guys who, were a couple under par in the opening round, I think that's okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's out of it. I mean, he's had 3 straight top 10 finishes here.
He was 5 under, I think, yesterday to finish. Ricky at 6 under. And it was funny because our good friend Tom Kakert, his bold prediction was that Ricky wasn't going to make the cut. And of course, I don't even know if he texted me, but there he was. What was 2 of his first 4 holes, or 4 of his first 6 holes? Start. Yeah, it was bad. And I was waiting for Tom to text with "I told you so," and then he heated up as well. Can he sustain?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the thing with Ricky Fowler is he's battle tested. I mean, that guy's seen it all, right? And he doesn't get too high or too low.
Yeah,
I think he's fine. I think he'll make the cut.
It's the John Deere Classic, so I have to ask you about the regular John Deere Classic guys. And it was funny because yesterday on the show, Andrew Lehman admitted that they almost had Steve Stricker come back this year.
Wow, okay.
Real close to it. He had an extra spot. Talked to his brother-in-law, who's his agent, and just not quite healthy enough with the surgery.
Right.
But that's something he admitted he'd love to have Steve come back a year.
Absolutely.
And that's the weird thing so Zach talked when? Wednesday? Mm-hmm. And he's going to be 50.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
I mean, it's funny because he was telling us 10 years ago that the young kids that are coming are just hitting the ball a ton, and now these younger kids that are coming are hitting the ball farther than the young kids that were hitting them.
Right.
So he's at 2 under. He's out there right now. He had a nice start here. It was crazy to me, Celia, that they had will Zach Johnson make the cut was like basically even money. And it was like he's done it 16 straight years. It's like death, taxes, and Zach
Johnson
making the cut.
Yeah.
Can he? Maybe a dumb question, but he'll make the cut today.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the afternoon yesterday.
Yeah, so he's morning now. He was 2 under early. I don't know what he's at right now, but got to 4 under overall.
I think he'll be okay.
Some other your thoughts on just the longevity? I mean, is he almost to the point where he's You know, how many more John Deere Classics?
I think Zach Johnson plays this event as long as the John Deere Classic will have him, which will be forever. You know, I don't know what Zach's thoughts are in terms of like when exactly he'll transition to playing on the PGA Tour Champions after he turns 50. It's funny. I think it was in 2021. So what? That's 4 years ago. So he was 46.
45.
Somebody asked him if he was starting to think about the PGA Tour Champions, and he's like, "No, I've still got a ton left of me."
Do you remember who asked that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I'm not going to say.
I do too. I just was curious.
I mean, Zach finished tied for 8th in the Masters this year.
Yes.
You know, as long as
if
he stays
went
healthy,
to the senior tour, he would.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
kill it.
Yes, he'd be like a Stuart Sink out there. He'd be like, you know, some of the younger guys that come out and just have the advantage of length. While their bodies are still healthier than a lot of the guys on PGA Tour Champions. And so I think he'd probably blitz PGA Tour Champions. It's only 3 rounds, no cut for most of them besides the majors. So
yeah, no. So there's some bigger names that are entering round 2, kind of hovering around the cut line. Ben Griffin, is he here?
Sorry?
Is Ben Griffin, is he here for the weekend?
I think so. I think one thing about Ben Griffin is things have changed for him in terms of managing his game. He's also one that has been through the highs and lows of professional golf. I mean, he hung up his clubs for a couple months and became a mortgage loan officer.
It's crazy. It's an awesome story.
It is an awesome story. He's always been an elite player, but now that he's seen himself win, and not just once, twice, and I think the important part of that is getting that individual win at the Charles Schwab Challenge, I think he manages the highs and lows of a day-to-day round much better than probably he did in seasons prior, and he said that. So I think he'll manage to be fine.
Somebody I was really high on coming in, and still am, is Luke Clanton.
Yeah.
And he played in the morning yesterday, and he was 1 under.
Yeah.
Does he? So he's in the afternoon today. Do we get Luke Clanton the weekend?
So I don't know that Luke Clanton makes the cut. I would love to see him make the cut after that runner-up finish last year.
Yeah.
He just made his first professional cut last week at the Rocket Classic. This is his fourth event as a professional on the PGA Tour. He missed the cut at the RBC Canadian Open. He then played in the Travelers, which is a signature event, so no cut there. But then he made his first cut last week at the Rocket Classic. I don't know. I mean, there's just so many expectations on Luke, and it's hard not to let that get into your own head. I think he expects himself to play as well as he has in every single outing on the PGA Tour because he's just come out and been this star right away. Now he's a pro. He says things haven't changed for him mentally, but it's hard not to think that after you have all those expectations on you, that you don't let it get into your head just a little bit, that you feel like you have to perform every single time you tee it up.
If anybody's when you're watching this, she has no notes. She just went through his last 5 events and what he did. She has no notes. What's wrong? You're crazy. You're like a machine. A couple more for you, and then you got a bunch of work to do. I'll let you get out of here. Michael Thorbjornsen was a guy that I was, but he is an afternoon guy yesterday.
Right.
So maybe his 1 under is different than Luke Clanton's 1 under, isn't it? I think he can make a nice move here today. He's out there right now. Thoughts on Michael Thorbjornsen, who finished second last year, T2 last year, and he did well last week as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he finished in a tie for 4th last week at the Rocket Classic. He had taken some time off after a wrist injury around the time of the Charles Schwab Challenge. He has been a little bit more battle-tested than Luke in terms of he's obviously had more time out here on the PGA Tour. Still another young stud with a whole host of expectations on him. But in this second year on tour now, I think he has his wits about him just a little bit more. I think he can make a move today and be just fine.
Who did you have winning it before this started?
Denny McCarthy. I'd love to see. Did you? Yeah, I did. I'd love to see the trophy stay in the trophy house. I mean, he's tailor-made for this golf course. I mean, one of the best putters on the PGA Tour year in and year out, and 3 straight top 10 finishes here. No worse than a tie for 7th. it's only a matter
so
of time.
here we are Friday morning. I'll let you change your pick if you'd like to. If you're sitting here on Friday morning, now who do you think wins this?
I don't know, man. Something tells me it's Max Homa, just because he has been in the doldrums for so long. We haven't seen a round like we have yesterday in a long time. I mean, that's not a hot take by any means, but it just seems like, gosh, he's been fighting for so long. It would just be such validation and vindication if he were to win.
I don't think he needs to go out this afternoon and set the world on fire.
No.
He just has to have a
good round.
Toss a 69 out there, 68, and just be happy. I mean, it doesn't have to match what he did yesterday in the afternoon, but it would be good. Okay, so I'm glad he just walked in. You started this whole thing when it comes to the Claire and Andrew thing.
God.
You
my
started,
God.
You started the question. You were the first person I asked it to. And now you're sitting in the office. He's looking over there. I think is he your boss this week?
Yes.
Oh, would you like to? So I'm going to ask you again. Things have changed. Andrew or Claire?
Oh my God.
Look at his eye. I wish I had another camera on him.
What do I do?
Well, I don't know. There's nothing. I always taught you to ask the hard questions. I'm now asking.
You never asked the hard questions.
I did too.
No,
I didn't.
you didn't.
I didn't ask Zach the question about being on the senior tour when he's 45. That wasn't me.
Andrew's the best.
There you
all right?
go. It's all right. All right. Well done. Okay. So I'll ask you an equally hard question: Dazzo or Corey?
Oh my God. That's
Fair?
horrible.
Is that fair, Andrew?
No. No,
That's
it's
fair.
not a fair question. It's not a fair question.
Just answer it correctly when I'm here. He'll never see that. He'll watch it.
While she's thinking about it, now that I'm on the board, the question's over.
What do you say?
Now that I'm on the board, the question's over. I love it. I love it.
So you're running around all week. You're doing stuff for the John Deere Classic. People can check that out on all their social media content. And then you're helping out with the 19th hole once again. So,
Yes.
And you're going to go to either Portillo's or some Mexican food with me on Saturday night, right?
Correct.
And Wheezy.
Correct.
We'll have a blast.
Awesome.
Celia Palermo's back in the Quad Cities. Check out all our content. And then talk about, like, real quick, the PGA Tour hosting now. Talk about the things you do there real quick.
Yeah, so I'm a full-time producer and host of the PGA Tour. We just launched a new show on Golf Channel on Monday nights. It's called The Drop. And I'm hosting that alongside a bunch of other folks that are involved, and it's been a blast. So watch The Drop on Golf Channel on Monday nights.
One of your gigs here was to cover Iowa football.
Yeah.
Or do you still not cover? Do you still pay attention to Iowa football?
Of course I do.
Do you really?
Of course I do. I
know you're a
tweeted a very important question yesterday.
What was the question?
I'm sitting here in the Quad Cities, and one question comes to mind: where the heck is Spencer Petras?
That shows how long it's been since you've been to the.
Where is he?
Where is he?
Where is he?
He's not in Iowa City anymore. He's not in Iowa City. But
somebody responded. A producer from Golf Channel responded and said he's busy getting Iowa in position for another punt.
Well, did you hear the PGA? And I don't know if Angie's probably listening, but the PGA Tour or on the network yesterday they were talking.
Oh my gosh!
Did you hear this?
No, I didn't hear, but you told me it.
Yeah, they said it's a little quiet here. It's almost like Iowa football. There's not a lot of offense, and I was like, wow, they did that. They went there. So
somebody's informed.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's funny because it's true.
It is. That's why it's
not
funny.
This year. Not this year.
Okay, sure.
We're going to score a little bit more this year. Sure. So, anyways, that is Celia Palermo. Celia,
Just like
who was it that messed up your name back
you.
then? No, but it wasn't that bad.
It was you.
It was.
Yes, it was.
No, Stockpile. He called you Palmero.
Every
because
time.
because he's Rafael Palmero back in the day. Celia Palermo joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thank you, young lady. Get back to work. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo live from the John Deere Classic on a Friday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak, with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss pre-arrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Yo, Quad Cities, let me tell you, if you're looking for something fun to do, I've got it. Saturday night, July 12th, the Steamwheelers are throwing down against Green Bay for John Deere night. And it's about to be straight up legendary. The team's rocking custom John Deere jerseys. John Deere employees get in free, and there's even a free halftime concert by Loyal Sills.
Get away, change your names, go state.
Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets before they're gone.
Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. We are live at the John Deere Classic, spending the week out at the Stonehouse just off the second green, and of course invading tournament director Andrew Lehman's office. So it's been... All right, I'm going to start over because Andy's yelling at me. 3, 2, 1. Stop it. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. Out at Deere Run for the John Deere Classic, having a blast this week here at the Stonehouse. Thank you again to Andrew Lehman for letting me invade the tournament director's office. It's been a ton of fun. A lot of great stories here once again out at the John Deere Classic. Things started on Wednesday with the ProAm, and we had some big names. We had TJ Hawkinson and Riley Moss, but the name I heard the most throughout the entire day was this young man right here. Comanche, 15-year-old, a freshman, I think soon to be sophomore. Carter Henning joins me right now. Carter, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you were the talk of the John Deere Classic, Carter. Well, to give people a little bit of background, you've golfed your entire life, love the game of golf. Recently, about 4 months ago, you had your leg amputated, and now here we are 4 months later, and you're golfing at the John Deere Classic. Before we get into the John Deere Classic stuff, can you tell us a little bit about what happened about 4 months ago?
In February, middle of February, I was getting ready to go snowmobiling. And me and some buddies and one of their dads was getting just making sure the snowmobile worked. So we were idling the track up, and the track, we were lifting it up, and the track blew off back into my leg. So I went to the hospital. I had a few surgeries, and they decided that the leg just was never going to work the same, so it would be best to just amputate it.
Oh, that's horrible to hear. First and real quick, I do have to correct myself. I say Comanche, I think. Calmus Wheatland is where you go to school at. I apologize. I don't want to get any rivalries going up there. But so obviously you love the game of golf. Talk about how you responded to that, because was there ever a worry in your mind that you wouldn't get to play the game you love anymore?
I had no doubt that I would be back on the golf course, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. I mean, within 2 weeks of being home, I was back on the golf course, and I just went to practices, was just going to ride around with my buddies, but I got out and swung once on one leg, and it felt pretty good, so I started playing more and more holes, and was eventually playing 9, and by the first meet came around, my coach asked my parents if I could play in it, so.
That's amazing. And talk about the game of golf real quick in your life, because it's something you've done forever. And now you had high expectations for yourself, going to high school, wanting to be on that golf team, play varsity, heck, be the number one. You ended up being the number one at Calmus Wheatland. Kind of talk about being able to do those things that you'd always dreamt of doing.
Yeah, I've always liked to play golf. It's been one of my first loves. And I mean, I just knew that to get back to it, I had to try as hard as I can, and eventually I'd get there.
You got there, had a great season. When does this John Deere Classic stuff come up? And what were your thought process and what goes through your mind when you find out that you're going to be teeing it up with some of the world's best golfers in the Pro-Am here at the John Deere Classic?
Yeah, my first emotion was very excited about it, but as it got closer, I was a little nervous, like just playing in front of a bunch of people and playing with the pro and stuff. But I mean, it was a blast. First hole there was a lot of nerves, but after that, it was just playing golf out there.
Okay, Carter, I know a lot about like the ins and outs of the media and stuff. You had like 3 microphones on, cameras on you all day, and then you had to go golf in front of a bunch of people and Zach Johnson and Dylan Frittelli. What was that like? Because playing golf is one thing. You had to deal with some nerves maybe as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, lots of eyes on me, years. But one thing that helped a lot is with golfing on one leg during the season, yeah, a lot of meets, there's quite a few people watching me. So I was kind of used to the pressure, but that was definitely the most eyes and ears on me.
What was it like then going there? I think you teed off on, I'm guessing 10, because I think you finished on the front 9. So you teed off on 10. What was it like to step on that tee? And then was there a little relaxing a little bit when you got that first shot in and you were off and running and, playing the game you love with some really cool people?
Oh, the first hole on that tee box, I felt like my heart was pumping out of my chest. But then I went up there and I striped my first drive. I mean, it was a really good drive, so that really that calmed everything down. So,
tell me about that first drive when you say. And I watched you hit yesterday. I hopped in 1 and 2 and walked with you guys when you picked up with Zach Johnson, and I was just so impressed with the way you hit the golf ball. What was that first drive? Do you give me a guesstimate on how far?
I bet it went about 260, I'd say.
There you go. That you kind of make me frustrated hearing that. You know that. You're 15. You're not supposed to be doing those kind of things. Carter Henning joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. What was it? We'll start, I guess, with the front 9, your front 9, your first 9, if you will, the back 9 here at the John Deere Classic. What was it like meeting Dylan Frittelli, a former winner here at the John Deere Classic, a guy that I've met and talked to several times? I know he's an amazing dude. What was it like getting to know Dylan Frittelli on those first 9 holes?
It was a blast. I mean, he was a great guy, very nice. And, I mean, even from him coming from South Africa, being there is just a lot to learn about other country also, and just being around him, learning some things. I mean, I don't know how many lines he gave me, and every time it was spot on. So
that's the thing, is you can't keep him with you. It'd be nice to keep him in your pocket and take him out when you need to read a line and a putt. Did you try to, ask questions, or was it just kind of nerves, or did you try to pick up some things that you can keep with you as you move on in your golf career?
I was definitely watching quite a bit, trying to learn some things, but I'd stay back and walk with him and talk, just get to know him, he'd get to know me. We were social, and it was a good time.
When it comes to golf in the state of Iowa, and I don't want Zach to get angry with me, but he's getting a little older, but there's no bigger name in the state of Iowa than Zach Johnson. Have you grown up knowing and watching Zach, and what was it like meeting him for the first time?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, getting to play with someone from Iowa, it was one of the top people I wanted to play with for sure, and he is a great guy, fun guy to talk with, and I mean, he was funny too. He also on hole 2 chipped in for eagle, so that was pretty cool to watch. So
yeah, he's one of a kind. When you look at it, I know that you took off your prosthetic leg and played a couple holes or hit a couple balls with just the one leg. What is that like, and what was it like the first time you went out and hit a golf ball like that? Because you mentioned you hit pretty good, and from what I saw, you hit a lot better than I do. So what was that like when you kind of hit a golf ball for the first time, with just one leg?
Yeah, it was different for sure, but I mean, I learned how to do it a lot quicker. I had to change my swing a little bit, because I mean, you just don't got your front foot to rely on, so you kind of got to like twist when you swing, and then I got a hook, so I had to kind of correct that. So, but overall, I didn't do too bad. And then yesterday, when I took the leg off, I was kind of scared because I haven't done it for a few weeks, so I did it, and I think it was the best drive of the day. I can't remember what hole it was on, but I was about 10 yards from driving the green.
Yeah, I saw, I think it was Joey Danya's story on KWQC, and he had the video of you hitting it, and I was blown away. Carter Henning joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo from Kalmus Wheatland. Carter, talk about your love for golf and where you want to go with it, because obviously you have a natural ability to play the game. How has this maybe motivated you to continue to do that game you love, and maybe doing it at even bigger levels?
Yeah, the dream's to go to college and make it pro one day, and I just know I got to fight to that, and I know that the ability's there. I just got to put the work in. Okay,
so I also know you're a baseball player, and I got kids that play a lot of baseball that don't golf a lot during baseball season because they say it messes with their swing. I've always heard that. It messes with your swing. If you play baseball, then you play golf. Doing both, what's that been like? And you're a pretty good baseball player too, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little difficult, but I've done it for the last few years, so I mean, I've been able to juggle both of them pretty easily.
Do you have a favorite sport?
It'd probably be golf. Over the last few years, I really liked golf. I also am a big basketball player. I've played on some travel league teams, so I'm hoping that'll go good this year too. We'll have to see how that goes. Just along for the ride.
Carter, before I let you go, a couple more. You've done a great job just handling a lot of attention and pressure and all those kind of things. What have you learned about yourself maybe the last week or so when it comes to not the game of golf, but just handling adversity in the last 4 months, but then a lot of pressure, a lot of attention, and you've handled it so well. I'm an impressive young man.
Yeah, what I learned about myself the most is I never knew that I've never been much of like a public talker, or I've been kind of a shy person usually, and I've been a lot more open lately. Like my interviews, I've been talking a lot more in those, and it's just getting more comfortable, and I think that's overall helping just later in future for anything really.
I'll tell you this, a couple things. One, I never spoke in high school too much. I was a quiet, shy kid, and now I speak for a living. And covering athletes in the area. I always give Ethan Happ a hard time. He was a high school player here at Rock Ridge that played at Wisconsin and now plays overseas. And his first interview he did with me was awful, and he gets used to it. So are you are getting more comfortable with some spotlight with this kind of things as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Yep.
No, that's amazing. That's awesome. Do you have a moment that you'll remember the most about your round at the John Deere Classic? Do you have a shot or an encounter or a moment that you'll always stick with you when it comes to the Pro-Am here at the John Deere Classic on Wednesday?
Yeah, the moment I'll remember the most is hole 16. I went up and I hit and it rolled and right behind the cup and ended about, I'd say, 4 inches away from the cup.
Wow, so that's almost a hole in one.
Yeah, I went up and there's a guy on the green. He said that's about a quarter inch that went by the hole. So,
hey, Carter, if you would have hit a hole in one on Wednesday, oh my goodness, you think you have some attention now? You'd have a whole different set of attention. The John Deere Classic in general. Have you been down to the event? Did you know a lot about it? And now obviously that you've played in the Pro-Am, what does this event maybe now mean to you?
I have not actually been here before. First time going there, but I didn't realize how big it was. I've just in the last few years, I've been getting more into like PGA and golf, like just watching it. And I've never realized how big of a thing it is. And going down there, the experience, it was just amazing.
Will you be back to the John Deere Classic, maybe as a fan?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I know that we have tickets this Sunday to go also.
You will love it. Do you like the Zach Brown Band? Are you a country music guy?
Yeah, I am. We have tickets to that too. We got some VIP tickets also.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Carter, I can't be more impressed with you, not just as a golfer, as a young man as well. You handled everything. I got to watch you for about 3 holes yesterday, and I was completely blown away. That's when I said to myself, I got to figure out a way to get a hold of this kid. Got your mom's number. I completely appreciate you coming on the show. Impressed as a golfer, even more impressed as a young man. You're doing awesome things, and I can't wait to watch you continue to thrive in all of these sports that you love to do. I appreciate you being on here.
All right, thanks, Matt.
All right, that is Carter Henning, Calmus Wheatland standout. I think I said Comanche to start with, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. Calmus Wheatland standout, doing awesome things, teeing it up here at the John Deere Classic on Wednesday. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo from the John Deere Classic. It's Friday, round 2 of the JDC.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. Not just any Friday, it is the 4th of July, and more importantly, round 2 out here at Deer Run. Of course, OTA on the road this week, live from the Stonehouse. The John Deere Classic tournament director's office, Andrew Lehman, been having a blast this week. And one of my favorite parts of the week is round 2 underway at the John Deere Classic is checking in with what's become one of the most popular segments in the show. My good friend Craig DeVrieze joins us. I was hoping you would be outside with a cigarette, and you're inside. Is it too hot?
Cigarette. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Not cigarette. I'm sorry.
I smoke cigars.
I'm sorry. Silly me. I meant cigar. It's
pretty loud. It's pretty loud where I've got my my little outdoor office camp. So they've got a generator running the scoreboard.
No, I love it.
I thought that'd be bad for.
And Barry's not going to let you light up inside?
I think I'm not going to risk that.
I don't blame you.
I don't want Todd to fire me,
Absolutely. Craig, looking at and we'll get the updated stuff here in a second, but with round 1, what headlines did you take from yesterday when it came to round 1 of the John Deere Classic?
Well, actually having Max Homa on a shot out of the lead, standing on the 9th tee with a tied for the lead was a big story and can be a great story if he finds his form here. And should go on to win. What really amazed me yesterday was, and I've never seen this, I swear, there's always a good number of players in the afternoon draw who make a move.
Yeah.
Come in and blow up everybody's leads because you've got everything written from the morning draw. But nobody. I mean, there was one guy who actually got inside the top 15 out of the afternoon draw, and that was Chris Ventura, and here he is. Near the top of the board. So that was interesting. Apparently what players were saying as they came in off the afternoon was that the winds were swirling. They couldn't figure them out. It's the typical afternoon draw complaint about greens being a little more bumpy than they would have been when they were pristine in the morning. So it was really interesting, though. I've never seen it where there was so little movement in the afternoon.
Yeah, you could tell the advantage it was to be in the morning, and maybe the same today we'll end up seeing. But Camilo Villegas right now at 10 under par, he's 5 under for the day through 13. Chris Ventura, who golfed well yesterday, 9 under at 3 under, and then still and somebody I want to talk to you about, Davis Thompson, who survived yesterday afternoon, maybe is the best way to put it, because it wasn't easy. It was a struggle, but he survived yesterday, and now he's making a nice move right now here in round number 2.
Yeah, that's basically what they say. If you can keep your bad rounds in check and keep your ball, stay in range, and then you try to make a move in the afternoon. Or in the when you get the more favorable conditions in the morning. So, yeah, that's definitely happening for Davis, and that'd be a great story. Obviously the headlines are already being written about Chris Ventura, John Deere Classic ace, right? And what's interesting in just checking out his bio is he's made 28 cuts and 68 starts, and that on the tour, and that's going back to 2020. That's amazing. But he played in the Olympics for Norway.
Oh, wow.
He was born in Mexico, played in the Olympics for Norway. His family actually moved there when he was 12 from Mexico. So he's got a very interesting background. As much as he is an unknown, he's got an interesting story to tell.
Looking to this afternoon, and of course some of those big names yesterday that hit in the morning go off this afternoon, one of them being, of course, Max Homa, Ricky Fowler as well. When you look towards this afternoon, I kind of talked with Celia Palermo just a little bit ago that, if Max follows up a 63 with a 69, you take it maybe today. Is that kind of the way you look at it, being in the afternoon, or does he need to go low again?
No, obviously here, the lower, it's good to go as low as you can go.
Yeah.
But no, really, I think if he can stay in position, stay in that on the first page of that leaderboard, he's going to feel real good about his position at the end of the day, no question.
I wanted to talk to you about
anything on the par is going to be fun.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about.
I do want to note that I saw Celia fixing her hair in the media center after she went on. So I think that's a little bit of disrespect that she's threw your way, so I just wanted to point that out.
I thought she looked lovely, Craig. I didn't know that she had to fix her hair. I don't judge, I guess, but I mean, obviously, a handsome man like yourself probably has more ability to do that.
I didn't fix my hair before I came on either, so I get.
I love it. Hey, I read an article of yours today, which I enjoyed, with Jackson Coyven. Obviously, a tie here to the Quad Cities and Moline. Can you talk a little bit about his story? And that's somebody you'd love to see survive and hang around for the weekend as well.
Oh yeah, he's got obviously got all the game in the world. One only player in the history of college golf to win all 4 Player of the Year awards. And why are there 4 Player of the Year awards in college golf? Because one of them's named after Jack, one of them's named after Hogan, one of them's named after Arnie, and one of them's named after Phil. So what's Tiger doing? Does he not care?
Eventually he'll get one.
College golf? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, he's a good player, obviously. He's number 1 amateur in the world. It was fun getting to know his dad just a little bit. Very, very low-key, nice guy. Certainly didn't toss off any Earl Woods vibes like when Tiger was here and Earl was sitting in the golf cart talking about how Tiger's going to change the world. There wasn't much of that. But George, born in Moline, son of an internist and a general practitioner in Rock Island who was just like beloved, and went off to the University of Iowa, went to found his work in IT in San Jose, and found their only son is a kid who proved very athletic as a youngster, played all basketball, baseball, and was quarterback, George told me, in his flag football league, which is good because if you've seen this kid, he's about this skinny and this high, and I wouldn't want to see him take a Myles Garrett hit. But boy, can he play! He can golf his ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, I meant to check on how he's doing. But yeah, hopefully he can make a move and get it under par and make what figures to be a reasonably low cut. I don't think it'll be the 7 under that it was last week at Rocket Mortgage, or even last year. I think here it was 5, or as low as it's been at Deere Run. It may not reach that given the scores yesterday afternoon, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe they go low this afternoon. Who knows?
I was looking at, and we'll talk about that because Friday is famous or infamous, however you want to look at it, for being cut day at the John Deere Classic every week. It is, but at JDC this week. You kind of talked about a score. There are some guys that are kind of hanging with that cut line. I'll give you a few. Your guy that you I think you picked to win this thing on the show, Michael Thornbornson, doing better this afternoon. Playing better today.
Yeah.
Or this morning, I should say.
He is.
He'll make the cut.
4
right?
Under last time I looked. Yeah, here's an interesting one. I think you asked for a young player, and I mentioned Gordon Sargent. He's 5 under today.
Oh, wow.
Or 4 under today, and he's 5 under for the tournament. So he's playing alongside Jackson Coyven. I saw him hit it 340 yesterday. It was 368. I remember it now vividly. At 10. But then he dumped it in the water and couldn't even get up and down and made bogey. But it's a tough game.
Yeah. Some names
NCAA
coming.
Champion, by the way.
What's that?
Michael Assasso. The NCAA champion, Michael Assasso, who's one of those 3 really high-profile amateurs that are playing here. He took an 8 on 18.
Oh.
Hit it way right, I think, into the high weeds. I mean, the tour cast of that hole is amazing. Chopped it out of there, chopped it back to the fairway, hit it into the bunker from the fairway, and then hit it in the Spieth bunker from the fairway, and then sailed his bunker shot 50 yards over the green.
Oh, geez.
Took an 8.
Ugh.
I mean, I thought I had a copyright on playing that hole that precise way.
Hey, misery loves company, right? Misery loves company.
Game. He won the NCAA championship, but he wouldn't have won the NAIA here in May playing that way.
Yeah. Craig, you picked Michael Thornborn-Bjornsson, and that could still happen. But sitting here now, 11 o'clock, a little after 11 o'clock on a Friday, and I let you repick who's winning this thing on Sunday night.
Oh, man. Why do I have to embarrass myself twice?
Hey, your first one could still do it.
You know, I will say this. I got a JDC under the radar kind of champions kind of vibe out of Austin Elkroat yesterday.
Okay.
He hasn't played great this year, but he won twice last year. He had a good round yesterday. He's going to start today, tied with Max at 8 under. Let's just say that.
I like it.
Austin.
So now Austin gets the Craig DeVrieze jinx. You're taking out young golfers one at a time here at the John Deere Classic.
Yeah, you know, I probably could open a sideline business by not picking people for pay.
Yeah, I do it. Biggest question you didn't know yesterday. Do you know today? What are they feeding us in the media center?
It looks like we have the pork chop sandwiches and chicken going.
Love it. We're actually Mitch is coming out.
And I should have known yesterday because it was the first time they've ever served Mexican. It was an epic day in the media center.
Andrew Lehman's changing things one day at a time. So, hey, Craig, I appreciate everything throughout the week. We'll catch up with you maybe on Monday or Tuesday next week as we recap this whole thing over the weekend as well. But I appreciate you. Have lunch on me once again.
Give me a call tomorrow about 11 o'clock. I'm going to feel really lonely.
I get it.
Have you talked to Decker yet, by the way?
Decker is coming up next. You're like the leadoff act for Decker. So wish me luck.
I really want
all those
to hit
kind
him
of
with
things.
that Eastmo Bettendorf rivalry question because you know they both they have the biggest. Both those communities have the biggest 4th of July parades in the community.
It's true.
And my dad and my godfather actually started the AMVETS parade in East Moline. So I again want to assert Eastmo's dominance over the usurper that is Bettendorf. Okay, can you let Decker know that's where I'm at?
I will. It'll be talked about, and I got your back. I will call you tomorrow at 11 just for fun, Craig. I appreciate you.
All right, Matt, thanks.
All right, that is Craig DeVrieze, once again out here for the 1500th year covering the John Deere Classic. We got more to get to. After the break, we mentioned it. Decker Ploehn sits down, talks with us about a lot of memories and a lot of stories out here at the John Deere Classic. It is round 2 of the JDC out here at Deere Run. You're watching OTA on a Friday right here in the Quad Cities. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday, but not just any Friday. It is 4th of July Friday here at the John Deere Classic. We're live at Deere Run, round 2 of the John Deere Classic. Hopefully everyone is having a great holiday. We appreciate you tuning in or watching this later as you enjoy your holiday weekend as well. One of the people that I've known for some time that I always have enjoyed is Decker Ploehn. He's been a fixture out here at the John Deere Classic, helping in the clubhouse. He was the tournament chair for a while. And he's somebody that I thought I definitely need to chat with when I'm out here for Off the Air during John Deere Classic week. And joining me now, a familiar face here out at the John Deere Classic, a familiar face all over the Quad Cities. You are Mr. Quad Cities, aren't you? Decker Ploehn joining you. Thank you for coming by.
I'm really happy to do it.
Are you?
Well, you asked me, so I'm here.
That's all right. We'll see how this goes. First and foremost, I again, thank you for doing this. How many years have you been out here at the John Deere Classic?
Well, I think 2001 here, But I volunteered in 1975 when the first year they went to Oakwood. I think it was 75.
Okay.
76. And when I was a police officer, for 3 years, we did walk the fairways. And then they changed that format for the at least volunteering with police officers, and Moline kind of coordinated picking it up with paid guys. And,
yeah.
And I played in a couple of ProAms.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which ones?
I played
out here or
at Oakwood.
Okay.
And I
You played
of course,
here.
I played here with when I was the chairman. I played with Jonathan Bird.
Okay.
So,
this place, and I know your love for the John Deere Classic and everything. What is, and you're on the board now, and you've been the tournament chair and all that kind of stuff. Take me through how you got even more involved, I guess, than, the cop stuff and all those kind of things. When did you get as involved as you are now with the John Deere Classic?
Well, I alluded to you that we hosted David Gossett in the year that he won, in 2001, I think it is. Pretty sure it is. And right after that, I was asked if I wouldn't mind coming to the board. And I came to the board, and pretty quickly they asked me to come to the executive board. And I ascended pretty fast. So I came on the board in 02 or 03, and I was chairman in 08. So I went through the 5 chairs pretty rapidly.
Absolutely. When you got on board, what was it about what was going on? And obviously Claire's there, and he's doing amazing things. What was it about this event that made you continue to grow with it and want to be so involved with it?
Well, my dad was a really good player and instilled in us the desire to play golf and be around golf, and I just kind of gravitated to the players. And I'm blessed with a really good memory.
Yeah.
I can recognize players' names and faces pretty well, and so I gravitated pretty fast into player services because I could recognize guys and carry a little banter, and so I got into player services.
You can carry a little banter?
Well, a little bit. You've been the recipient of some of it.
I have been. I've been the recipient a lot of it. But so take me through some of those memories, those moments. Like, because I always talk to people about the John Deere Classic, and they're always like, you ask the favorite memories, and it's cliche, but it's Stricker's putt, Spieth, Zach out of the bunker, those kind of things. But I always love to hear about the stories that we don't know about. What are some fun things? What are some fun stories that you have been a part of over the years?
Well, a really good one. One of the chairman's wives, had inadvertently let a couple guys into the John Deere tent on 18, and they were in having a nice time. And she said, I'm pretty sure they're not the people they said they were, because they told her they were professional golfers. And in fact said they were Mark McCumber. Or Mark O'Meara, I'm sorry, Mark O'Meara. So I was tasked with, I just said, well, we'll go check this out. So I came into the
Well,
Deere.
hold on, were you tasked with that,
Well,
or
I
did you
picked it
volunteer?
up. I picked it up. Yeah, that's right. I got John Clays, who was only police officer. I said, meet me down at 18. So I told John, just wait outside. I'll go in and talk. So I went in and talked to the person, and I said, are there a couple guys in here that probably eating it up on deer? She said, yeah, they're out on the veranda there. So I walked over and said, hey, boys, would you mind showing me your credentials? And this guy says, well, I'm actually a player in the field. And I go, oh, you are? He said, we're guests of the chairman's wife. I said, oh, well, great. Well, who are you? I don't recognize you. He said, well, I'm Mark O'Meara. I said, well, that's interesting, because Mark O'Meara's not in our field this year. So why don't you pick up your drinks, and we're going to head out of here, and if you have any calamity about this, there's an officer outside that's going to escort you where you need to go.
Oh, I love it.
Very quietly. And they said, can we take our drinks? I go, no. Let's just go outside, and we'll take care of this outside.
Yeah.
So out we came, and they were escorted off the property. And
oh, that's great.
It was perfect.
What year was that? Ish.
I'm gonna say 4 or 5.
Okay.
2004 or 5, something like
Yeah.
that.
You do have such a great banter with the players. So I'm sure gotten to know a lot of, what are some of these, and everyone always asks me, like, what's this guy like, what's that guy? Well, who are some of your favorite guys that come in and you get to see most years, every year, all those kind of stuff?
Well, of course you get to see Zach every year. That's just a known. we've formed some great relationships. We've gotten to be good friends with Lauren Roberts, who came way back when, and I saw Lauren in March. We were in Memphis and got to see him. Formed some relationships with caddies. I've had a couple caddies stay at our house. I have a player staying at my house this week, Isaiah Salinda, young man from San Francisco, went to Stanford, came up from the Korn Ferry Tour. So yeah, I've just gotten to know a lot of guys. Justin Hadley, the guys at the house, JT. I called JT the week. I said, JT, you're the man this week.
So you called that?
Yeah, I did. Called him on. I told him that on Thursday morning.
Wow.
I got a good feeling about you, and he did it. So we bunch of players that we've gotten to know. Lucas Glover is one that's come for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Is just the most gracious guy.
Down to earth.
Just love him. And they're all, we helped Jason Day when he did that hour-and-a-half run around the course, and we got the sign that said "Nothing runs like a day," and was on the charter with him. And
yeah,
Ricky and I talked the other day. I was on the charter with him from Royal St. George's back to Shaughnessy in Vancouver. So yeah, I've had some great times and great relationships.
We had Alex Studeman on in Wednesday, and he talked about obviously being here in 2002 and the course and watching the course grow and mature and all those kind of things. Talk about your view of this tournament grow and mature and to know that Deere's got this thing through 2030. We get 6 more of these at least and all that kind of stuff. What's it been like to watch this tournament? And you've been a Quad City your whole life, so continue to do well. But then, I mean, once they moved out here and Deere got involved, to watch its maturation and growth, it's got to been pretty fun.
Well, what's really so cool is we set a record in my year for Birdies for Charity at 4.8 million. And what did we do? 14.8 million last year.
Isn't that crazy?
So what? For sure tripling it.
Yeah.
Almost quadrupling it.
And that's not that long.
No. Oh wait, so 15 years.
Wow.
16 years.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But then just the maturation of the golf course, the maturation of how the build out occurs. I mean, Marshall's just hit a home run this year with the build out. Andrew's incredible as the successor rather to Claire. And Claire and I have a great relationship. We're great friends. Play a lot of golf together. Have played a lot of golf together since he and I and Doug Holquist have played since like 2003.
Yeah.
On Sundays out here.
Yeah.
This is the first year we're not here. We all kind of went different ways, but we're all still playing golf together. So
sure, absolutely,
it's great fun.
Do you have and we mentioned the story of getting those yahoos out of the trailer and all those kind of things. What are some interactions with players that you've enjoyed having, or maybe moments that you've had with players?
Had to oversee getting the motorhome oil changed on John Daly's motorhome.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So
that was my first assignment, my very first assignment.
Okay, explain that.
Well, John was in the ProAm, and his agent came in and said, "Hey, John's in town with this motorhome, but he's got to get the oil changed. He's way beyond." So they said to me, "Figure out how you do that." So I called motorhome sales and service guys and said, "Hey, can we get this thing in here really fast? It's this player in our field, John Daly." So we worked it out, and I didn't know what that was going to entail or what it was going to cost, but we were able to get it done in a day, and John paid him, and they were happy, and I had to give him a couple extra tickets.
Yeah,
but that's the way it works.
Yeah.
That was my first assignment. It was kind of cool. Hey, we need to see a doctor. My kid's got something in his eye or something's going on, and making sure that happens. So you take him through the process, and we've got medical on course, but making doctor's appointments. Or cute little story. There was a caddy that had a toothache, and I was flying to Scotland on the same flight, so I texted David Lafleur, who was our rep on the Canadian Open, to get this guy a dentist appointment in Scotland when we landed. And I saw him the next day, and I said, "How's it going?" He opened his mouth, and his tooth was gone.
Oh my gosh!
And he said it was only $8. $8 to get my tooth pulled.
Up in Canada?
In Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Unbelievable!
Yeah.
Unbelievable. When you look at this tournament, then take me through some favorite champions, because that's the thing is that's what I'll always remember you as, is that like when there's a player being escorted, when there's a champion being done, usually Deckers, and it's funny because you'll see him at the beginning of the week with you, and by the end of the week with you, it's like, well, they've just gone through Decker training and now they're best friends. What's that been like to see a Jordan Spieth win here? To see, you mentioned Zach. I mean, that was, what were you, 08? Were you tournament chair?
Yes.
So 5 years later, a guy who's on the board with you wins the John Deere Classic and wins here. What are some of those moments championship wise that you're like, and of course, JT, you calling it, all those kind of things. What are some championship moments you remember?
You know, I had the pleasure of being, because when we had the jet, Claire was always saying, hey, make sure this guy goes from the media center up, used to go to the board and greet the board and get autographs and get pictures, but then get him back downstairs and get him on that jet as fast as you can do it. So I was positioned perfectly for that because I had the relationships with the sheriff's department and the police department to get the guys to get escorts, and I could figure out how we move people quietly or if we needed to do that. And so I always, got the champion in the scoring trailer, explained what's going to happen, and kind of, was the escort, as you said, unofficial escort, and then walked them through that, and then got them over to the airport and got them on the jet. I did that for like 8-10 years. So that was always cool. So I got pictures in the clubhouse with every one of the champs since about 08 in the locker room.
So cool.
On my phone because they met all these guys.
Yeah.
And usually had a relationship with them during the week because you're seeing them. I see them. I'm positioned right there in the hallway, just kind of taking care of whatever they need, and kind of take care of the stuff that happens in the clubhouse. So we have a rain delay. I'm the guy that makes sure that everybody knows they're coming in so that we get ready. So food and beverage knows, the caddies know, storage locker knows, the locker room knows, all the caddy area, registration. So, it's my job to kind of make sure everybody knows we're coming in, that sort of thing. And so I've just had a blast doing it.
Take me back to 2008. You were the tournament chair then. And to watch what it's become and do. First off, what was that year like? Because this thing doesn't happen without volunteers. And to chair them and to it's more than what people think, isn't it?
Oh, there's a huge amount of people that volunteer and do things that nobody ever sees. I mean, there's people parking cars.
There's people washing carts.
Shuttling caddies, shuttling media. They never see one stroke. They never see a ball get hit.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of those.
Yes.
Doing that. There's people parking cars at the fairgrounds, at the aisle, at the downs, that never see that. There's a huge amount of transportation drivers that go pick up players' wives. We know that there's 3, I think, wives coming in today, or spouses. Guys are picking them up at their various times, bringing them out to the course. There's all kinds of people doing all kinds of stuff that nobody even knows. And so, to your point, being able to, the year that I was chair, kind of go around and just thank those guys, if you could, it was just the coolest thing. Because you really do, when you go through these chairs, you get to see the breadth of it. And it's just, it's awesome. This community is so generous.
Were you relieved when you were done that year? Were you excited? I
didn't want to give it up.
That makes sense.
I love every second of it, and I still cherish. Kenny Perry sent me a video from Des Moines 2 weeks ago when he was in Des Moines to say, "Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hope all's well." And he was my champion.
Yeah.
I was up at the American Family a couple years ago. Saw Strick. What a cool guy.
Yeah.
Just so down to earth. Great stories.
And if you see Strick, he's like, "Hey, Decker,
for sure."
Yeah, I mean, he's an institution here in the Quad Cities.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk a little golf. This field's gotten it's one of the best fields in 20 years. I thought I said that last year, and I think it's better than last year. There's different factors with it. Andrew's doing a fantastic job. The changes on the PGA Tour. You're a golf guy. You love golf. You love the golfers. When you're a golf fan, as a golf fan, and you sit down and you look at this year's field, what do you think?
Oh, by far, not maybe the strongest ever, but certainly the strongest we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And you got some serious guys out there. But like Claire always said, you got 156 of the best players in the world.
Anybody can win this thing.
Anybody can win. Some guys are, on heaters, like Ben Griffin is pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
If I were going to throw some money down.
Yeah.
And this morning, I think Max is 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And Max Homa's big news. He's big medicine.
Yeah.
So, and Ricky being here, that's just magic. So this is a nice field. We had great with Jordan here last year. Jordan crowds were not quite Tiger crowds, but they were big crowds for us.
Do you have a year, and you can't say 2008 because that was your year, but do you have a favorite year? And I'll tell you what mine is real fast, and you can agree, disagree. 2015 for me encapsulated everything that's right about golf here in the Quad Cities. And it wasn't just Jordan winning it again for the second time, and he was the biggest name in golf, but Bill Murray. Bill Murray started things off on, and it's just everything in that week encapsulated what this event's all about. And then also the year Caton Clark came, was that 2023, 2022, 2023 probably. That year was great as well. I think Sepp ended up winning it. What years it's easy to say what champion. What years did you look back on and say that was a great year when it came to golf in the Quad Cities?
I really can't pick to any one year. That 15 is probably one that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Zach's win.
Yeah.
I think that was, the hometown guy winning in the hometown course. He'd been in the hunt a couple times. That was pretty special. Stricker's three-peat was like,
that's the thing,
how do you compare that?
Yes. And the way it happened, Deck, because we sat there. There was the first time, I said this earlier in the week on the show, that was one of the first times I've been at a golf outing where people cheered when somebody missed a shot. Kyle Stanley was putting before and when he missed, the crowd was happy. Everyone was so invested. Funny story about that is with the 19th hole, we put all of our eggs in that bucket. The whole show was about the three-peat. And he was so far ahead, and going on the turn, it was we got this. And we had the intros were all about the throwbacks, the years. And then all of a sudden we were like, oh, damn, we're in trouble. We might have to scrap everything. That year was amazing. What do you remember about the Michelle Wie years?
Incredible crowds. In fact, that's the other relationships that I've established with PGA Tour officials. And I remember those guys saying, these are Tiger crowds. You are seeing Tiger crowds.
We had a media center up by our trailer because there's so much media.
We had to add, I think, 75 media credentials, within 2 or 3 days before we started.
Yeah.
That was just nuts. And they were huge crowds. Just huge crowds.
Do you have a favorite golfer? If I said to you, is it like your favorite kid? Is it one of those things where it's just tough to narrow down to one?
I love good golf.
I have favorite kids.
Yeah, no, I love good golf, and I'm, I don't have anyone that I love dearly, and
yeah,
but I pull for everybody. I like the underdogs. I like the favorites.
Everybody's story is awesome. So that's the beauty part of golf, and here in the Quad Cities, whoever wins. Let's say Doug Gim wins this year. If you told me at the beginning of the week or anybody, but then you find out his story. He's never won, local or kid, guy that's from Chicago, I think, but golf down at Tennessee or Texas, and you find out their stories. Everybody's got a great story.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I think that's I help with the first tee, and chair that board, and we had 3 first tee winners who are in town getting scholarships from John Deere.
Yeah,
$20,000 scholarships. So I take them around and do a back scenes tour on Tuesday. So of course they wanted to see Ricky, but we ran Ricky down on number 1 and got him to sign autographs, take pictures. But as we're going up to the range, they're going to get a little lesson from Alex Smalley. We run into Aldrich Spotgater, the champ from Sunday.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, Aldrich, come over and meet these kids.
Have you watched him hit it?
No, I've not seen him hit other than TV. So they got to say hello to him, get his picture taken. And he was, yeah, sure, why not? So I think that's the cool thing is that you can approach almost every one of these guys. Now, some get so big that they get tired.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you ask them, they'll do it.
I don't want any names. I'm not saying this to be negative at all, but like, because as a media member, like people to ask, like, what do they like? And I would say to them, like, let me know what their scorecard is, and I'll let you know what they're like. They're all genuinely good people, but nobody wants to bogey 18 and then have my goofy self going, hey, what do you think of your, So, but have you ever? You don't want to say names. Don't want you to say names, but have you had any not great experiences with golfers?
Oh yeah. I can tell you one in particular who's on the senior tour now, but I could just
Can you tell me or no?
I could say he won here and didn't go to see the board. He took off and
which is so rare.
It was so disappointing. It was like, wow, he could have been a lot nicer and a lot stronger and a lot better. And the beauty of that is everybody else was exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and that's when you hear like they're going to carry the banner for a year. That's the beauty thing is when you, and I think more than any other place on tour, in this place, if you win here, you're our guy. Like you're automatic. That's why people love Jordan Spieth. He won here for the first time. It was great. Then he came back and won again. You're our guy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and maybe Bryson to an extent, people didn't embrace at the time as much, but now the way he's changed and matured and all those kind of things, I think people start enjoying him as well. A couple more for you. Let you go.
I fell in love with his caddy, Tim Tucker. At the time, Tim's on Kurt Kitayama's bag.
Okay.
I saw Tuck yesterday and said hello, and he goes, "Hey, thanks for saying hi, man."
Oh.
He said, "Glad you remember me."
Yeah.
And so I remember down in the locker room.
You do have, like, I could never do what you do because I forget my kids' names half the time, more or less anybody else as they comes through. Could you do a Mount Rushmore of the John Deere Classic?
Well, for sure. You got to have Zach, and you got to have Strick.
Yeah.
You probably got to have DA.
I think so too.
You got to have DA, and you got to have Dean Beeman, who won the first two at Davenport Country or at Crow Valley, and became the commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't not have that.
Can you add a fifth? Is Jordan to that point yet?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing
with 2 wins. I think anybody with 2 wins here has got to be Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, because I always say to people, and here I'll throw another one out at you, and we think golfers, but is Claire Peterson on a Mount Rushmore for the John Deere Classic?
Oh yeah.
Our Mount Rushmore is the biggest Mount Rushmore in the world.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know just how good a tournament director he was. The relationships with Deere, which kept it going. His relationships with the tour that Andrew's picked up on and done a really good job with. Nobody better to get mentored by than Claire, and his best mentee was obviously Andrew, and it's a perfect handoff.
Yeah.
Claire's there for sure. No doubt about that.
No, I would agree as well. Do you, before we let you go, I got a couple. So Craig DeVrieze, the young man that you know, has been helping us out this week. So he's been on a couple times every day, actually, kind of giving us the media side or the golf side, the news and notes side of things. I told him you're coming on the show yesterday, and he said, you got to ask Decker a question. And it's not really a question, but he wanted me to ask you, what's the original Quad City?
The original Quad Cities? The original 4?
Yeah.
The original 4 were Davenport, Rock Island, Moline, and East Moline.
See, he's cranky.
Bettendorf was not.
And that's what he said.
But ask him who they are now. And I think it flips.
Well, that's what he's saying. He goes,
even though Reggie Freeman and I were cops together 50 years ago, it's flipped.
I think he wants East Moline back in, is what he said.
Well, he can work.
Who are you going to kick out?
He can work. I always say it's the city you're in and the other 4. That's
there
what,
you go.
That's
there
what
you
makes
go.
It. I forgot to say, the other guy on the Mount Rushmore is probably Sam Allen.
Yeah.
Who was Jared Deere and Company, because Sam was an architect of this whole thing here that you're in with the Deere Run creation and the relationship with the tour, and so Sam's up there too.
I meant to ask you. Okay, so you hear? I don't know how you hear. You probably tell me that we're gonna have concerts at the John Deere Classic. When you heard that, be honest. What'd you think?
I thought it was the stupidest thing we could ever do, and I even said that to Andrew. Are you nuts? Putting these people on a golf course?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I think about, this is the ex-cop, city administrator in me, what happens if it rains? And now we go into a rain delay. The people that are here for the concert have no idea what this is all about and what's going to happen. And I always think, what's the worst case scenario you could encounter and what could happen?
Yeah.
So, but it's worked out incredibly well, and I've kind of eaten my words ever since. And now I just tell him, you don't have enough beer and you don't have enough restrooms.
They're getting better. We may have to figure out that rain thing on. I know I'm not a weather guy, and I love them, but I don't trust them. And so there's talk of that on Saturday.
With James, this is the relationship.
Love them. No, love Jay-Z. Love Jay-Z. So Andrew is cranky with Jay-Z because of a question that I asked him on my show, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you know what the question is?
I'm anticipating it.
Okay, so I've asked this to several people. There's a tally, and we're keeping track. Claire or Andrew?
Claire. I mean,
you're an old school.
Well, here's the thing. I'm best friends with him. I play golf with him. But let me say this. Andrew was an intern, and I kind of had him under my wing to start.
Yeah.
And so, but you know, it's just the way it is. It's like Nicholas or Woods.
Andrew gets cranky about it, and we finally got one. He was 5-0. And that's so James. I asked that. I do like you should watch the show more. I do like a rapid fire, and so I always throw that. Angie Sharp said Claire, Jay-Z said Claire. It was all Claire until yesterday. Finally, Michaela said Andrew simply because she has to work with him, and he's getting cranky about it. But other than that, let me ask you about that because on yesterday's show, Andrew was on here talking about taking over for Claire, and it was a really cool moment because he did get emotional. But you'd mentioned he was an intern here.
Yeah, how cool is that?
But take me back to whatever year that was that he's interning, and he's working under the great Decker Ploehn. If I would have told you then that he was going to be the tournament director someday, would you have believed it? Not believed it? What would you have thought?
Oh, I would have believed it. You see people, you see their talent pretty quickly, and you see their drive, and you see their quest to learn. Yeah, Andrew from day one was always ready to go, and he's no question. He got there on his own. Nobody gave this to him, and he's taken the reins and he's doing just what he thought he could do and what Claire developed him to do. And it's been a perfect transition.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's been really good. Can you be the tournament chair again? You can't? There's no...
No, I'm actually technically off the board. Past chairmen get to stay on the board kind of in a honorary capacity. But no, the
Decker, you're on the board.
Yeah.
You might not be on the board, but you're...
Yeah.
You're freaking Decker.
Yeah. Well,
you get to do what you want to do around here.
I have a blast.
You do. Last one, I promise before I let you go. Where do you see this thing going? And I say that in a positive way. I'm not like, oh, it could get, but the security of this event right now, with the extension, with Deere, with the people that are in this house, it's exciting as a Quad Cityan. Is it Quad Cityan or Quad Citizen?
Quad Citizen.
Quad Cityan.
Quad Citizen.
No. Okay, well, we'll get that. Okay.
They're all citizens.
Okay,
that's the government guy in me coming out.
How exciting is the future, I guess, for this event?
I don't know how much people understand what this does for the community. This is equal to the BICS, the marathon, the things that we do here. But this is I think the flagship because it's the top players of the golf world that are here. So I know there are top runners here, but I'm not sure they're at the highest level.
Yeah.
These guys are at the highest level.
Yeah.
And it goes with Deere. I think if Deere keeps us, we're all wearing green every day here. My belt to show. And if Deere hangs on to it, what's happening with Andrew and the team will only continue to get better.
No, I completely agree, and that's the thing too. It's exciting to think about in the future and where it can go, and all of those things as well. But it's been a blast to see it develop the way it has. And I'll say it, and I don't want to. And I tell Andrew this: it's the best event in the Quad Cities. It's the best sports tradition event. I love the BICS. I love everything that goes on with all the other things. I love the sports in the Quad Cities. This is as good as it gets. So, and you're as good as well. You didn't say anything inappropriate yet.
You know, I
wait till I stop the interview and then
I said something inappropriate at a fundraiser the other night. My wife reminded me, so I'm trying to.
Are you tampering down a little bit?
Tamper down a little bit today.
All right. Well, when you get a timeout, let me know. We'll get you back.
No F-bombs today.
Hey, I appreciate you. You know I do.
Thank you.
Decker Ploehn, doing it here at the Quad Cities and doing it at the John Deere Classic for a lot of years. So it's great to catch up with Decker Ploehn. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching Off the Air live from the John Deere Classic on a Friday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today.
Yo, Quad Cities, let me tell you, if you're looking for something fun to do, I've got it. Saturday night, July 12th, the Steam Wheelers are throwing down against Green Bay for John Deere night. And it's about to be straight up legendary. The team's rocking custom John Deere jerseys. John Deere employees get in free, and there's even a free halftime concert by Loyal Hills.
Get away, change your names, go state.
Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets before they're gone.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. It is Friday, the 4th of July, out here at the John Deere Classic, having a blast this week out at the JDC. I cannot be thankful enough to Andrew Lehman and his staff for letting Off the Air invade the Stonehouse. We've been live in the tournament director's office Wednesday, Thursday, and of course the last day here today on a Friday in the Quad Cities. We'll get you updated on what the leaderboard looks like right now at the John Deere Classic. Right now, and not a lot of movement, some good movement, but nothing of anyone running away with anything. The guys that did well in the morning yesterday, the Max Homas, the Doug Gims, those guys aren't going to be chasing too much when they get out here this afternoon. Right now, it's Camilo Villegas on top at 10 under. He's 5 under for the day. Chris Ventura also at 10 under. And then Davis Thompson, who finished 3 under yesterday, but struggled most of the day yesterday, picked it up late, shot a 68 yesterday. Davis Thompson is through 15 holes. He's 6 under today. He's now 9 under for the tournament. So the defending champion playing extremely well. He's only 1 shot back. Doug Gim is at 9 under as well. Aldrich Potgieter, 8 under. Austin Eckroat gets ready to go off at 12:49. He's at 8 under as well. Max Homa goes off at 1 o'clock. He's at 8 under. So not a ton of movement besides the fact that there's been some really good rounds today. When it comes to today as well, Michael Thornbornson playing really well right now. He's at 7 under, 6 under for the day. So he's playing some really good golf. Update you on some guys looking to make it to the weekend. Zach Johnson right now is at 5 under. I'm guessing the cut line is going to be at 4 under. It could possibly get to 5 under. So Zach has 5 holes left. He's at 5 under. So he's safe right now. A birdie or two would make things a lot better. Zach Johnson looking to get into the weekend for the 17th straight time here at the John Deere Classic. Some other big names we wondered about coming into the day so far about making the cut have played really good. Ben Griffin is at 5 under, so he's now on the right side of a 5 under cut line with 14 after 14. So a lot of great things to get to. It is cut day here at the John Deere Classic, so we'll be telling half of this field goodbye and then focusing on what's to come, what should be an exciting weekend here at the John Deere Classic. Again, I want to thank Andrew Lehman for letting me do this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday here at the John Deere Classic. We'll be back on Monday. Monday we'll do a complete John Deere Classic wrap-up show, kind of break down everything that happened. I'm going to convince Andrew Lehman to join me as well. It should be a fantastic off the air on Monday as we'll have a brand new John Deere Classic champion. Keep it locked to the social media, to X, and also to our YouTube page as well. I'll hop on with a couple live videos throughout the weekend, but no shows, of course, Saturday or Sunday out here at the John Deere Classic as we enjoy a little golf. I want to thank our guest today, Celia Palermo. Amazing to catch up with that young lady. One of my favorite people I've ever gotten to work with. Super proud of what she's doing. She's a host and a senior producer for the PGA Tour. She's here working for the John Deere Classic this week. Celia joined us today. Also, Carter Henning, an amazing young man doing amazing things. So congratulations to him. He played in the ProAm. Of course, unfortunately lost his left leg. Had that amputated on about 4 months ago, but played with Dylan Frittelli and Zach Johnson and played great. So great to catch up with him. You just saw Decker playing on here. Greg DeVrieze was on here as well. So thank you to everybody throughout the week. Andrew Lehman, Michaela Booth, Alex Studeman, Claire Peterson joined us on Tuesday when I wasn't out here, but in the studio as well. So it's been a packed week of John Deere Classic fun. I can't thank everyone enough for their hospitality here and also for joining me on the show this week as well. It's been a ton of fun. I want everyone to enjoy their 4th of July. Get out here to the John Deere Classic. I'll be roaming around on Saturday and Sunday as well. So if you see me, say hi. Appreciate you guys watching and viewing us. Also appreciate the sponsors as well. With that being said, one way to make sure that the house is happy with you is you bring Snoop's Chips and Salsa. So I brought a big old bag of Snoop's Chips and Salsa for here at the Stonehouse today. It hits every time. Every single time it hits right. So thank you to Snoop, fantastic sponsor of the show, has been from the jump. And thank you to the rest of our amazing sponsors as well for allowing me to do this goofy little show each and every day here in the Quad Cities. Godfather's Pizza had dinner there on Wednesday. I'll remind everyone, stop by Godfather's if you're coming out to the John Deere Classic this week. Get a pizza on the way out when you're leaving. There's a drive-up window, amazingly good pizza. So go check that out. Hungry Hobo, awesome sponsor as well. Rafferty Funeral Home, their support is amazing. Got to catch up with Kevin Rafferty a little bit yesterday, hoping to track him down over the weekend. Quad City Steamrollers on a bye week. They're a great sponsor of the show. They'll be back at home next weekend. We'll chat with them more on Wednesday right here on OTA. I just talked about Snoop and literally ate his chips and salsa. It's amazing. And really excited about a new sponsor, Mobile Party Experience, and some fun things we're going to do with them throughout the summer and into the football season. Should be a ton of fun as well. So we thank them for allowing us to do this each and every day. And as always, we thank you guys for watching. It's been a fun week here at the John Deere Classic. We will talk to you guys on Monday with a brand new John Deere Classic champion. We'll see you then.